This election isn't about Brexit itself. That issue has been settled. Britain is leaving the EU.
Would we, under Labour, inevitably leave the EU?
Given that we've had a referendum and the public have told us that they want to leave, then we have to leave.
We are leaving. We are no longer going to be a member of the European Union.
Yes, we're leaving the European Union.
We are leaving the European Union.
We're leaving the European Union.
We are leaving the European Union.
When we leave the European Union.
When we leave the European Union.
As we exit the EU.
As we leave the EU, because that is what the people have voted for.
The Labour Party accepts that we are leaving the European Union.
We have to recognise we're leaving the European Union.
We are leaving the European Union,
The most important question this country has faced for the last 50 years is whether
we will confirm to the other member states that Britain is leaving the European Union. That issue is not in doubt.
The referendum has happened. The country has chosen to leave the EU.
The choice in this election is not Brexit or no Brexit. That has been settled.
do you actually want to leave the EU?
Well, I don't think...
We're very clear on Brexit. A referendum took place, a decision was reached, we're leaving the European Union.
The Labour Party will leave the European Union. That is clear, because we respect the democratic mandate of the people.
The Labour Party, and I've been very clear from the outset, that we accept the outcome of the referendum.
Respects the result of our referendum in that we're leaving the European Union.
We had a decision and we respect the decision.
Our view on Brexit is obviously we respect the vote.
Have we got to accept the result? Yes.
But accept and genuinely accept the outcome of the referendum.
We accept the results of the referendum. It's taken place, it's happened, we accept it.
But the Labour Party cannot spend all of its time trying to rub out yesterday and not accept a result which is honour bound to respect. We do accept it, we respect it.
And the Labour Party position is clear, is that we respect the votes of the referendum.
And I'm not prepared now for the Labour Party not to accept the result and genuinely accept the result.
We're in favour of managed immigration when the free movement ends when we leave the European Union.
Yes, we've ruled out freedom of movement.
Freedom of movement obviously ends when we leave the EU.
Freedom of movement obviously ends when you leave the European Union.
Freedom of movement comes to an end when we leave the EU.
Freedom of movement ends when we come out of the EU.
Yes, the Labour Party position is that freedom of movement will have to go.
Free movement ends when we leave the European Union.
Freedom of movement will have to end as we leave the EU.
Clearly, free movement ends when we leave the European Union.
Freedom of movement ends. There's no question that it ends when we come out of the EU.
When we leave the European Union, and we accept we're leaving the European Union, the free movement of people goes. The free movement of people only exists within the internal market, and we are not going to be in the internal market.
What will happen on leaving the European Union is that we cease to be members of the single market, and therefore free movement ends.
As we leave the EU, powers that are currently exercised and resources to some extent, that to some extent come from the EU, will be coming back to the UK. The second referendum argument simply doesn't hold water.
You're out of the single market, are you?
Yes.
If the country votes for Labour, is there any chance whatsoever of us remaining in Europe?
No, we accept the results of the referendum.
We will say, as the Labour Party, that there should be a second referendum.
But we're supporting a people's vote strongly now.
And we believe the public should have a vote to decide whether it should be no deal or remain in the EU.
We are going to campaign for Remain.
We have always been a Remain and Reform party.
I'm completely honest about it. I want to remain.
And I personally would be supporting Remain.
There's got to be a referendum. Remain should be an option, and the Labour Party will campaign for Remain.